Hello again, Virgo. How are all you virgins out there this month, April 2022? I use that term not just because you're born under the sign of the Virgin, but if you have a look at the horoscope here, the new moon in Aries takes place in this eighth house of sexuality. Now, sexuality also has to do with not just sharing your body and your feelings and that whole intimate thing, but another important aspect of this, and the new moon is bringing that out, is the money and the resources that you share with other people. So I think that's a key focus, especially at the outset of this month, and it's going to set the trend for how you interact with others. What is the return on your investment? And investment is not just something related to money. It is related to your emotions, it's related to your time, it's related to your ideas. So I think this month is putting all of this stuff under the microscope for you to study. You'll also notice another important component of that with Venus transiting into the seventh house of relationships in your chart on the 6th of April. That's great for bringing love, compassion, and understanding into any relationship, because this seventh house for you, the opposite sign of Virgo is Pisces. So it's all about serving others, which is, that's your motto in terms of your astrological signature. But you've got to be careful of that. As I said, serving others is one thing. There's an unconditional love component to the people that you care for most. But don't let that get the better of you in the bigger world, because you may actually lose out. People may be taking advantage of you. So there's got to be some equity for you in the way that you're transacting right now, emotionally and materially. Here it shows generally a really, really nice combination, and this next month should be quite lovely with Venus here, Jupiter and Neptune in conjunction, all in the sign of Pisces, which is the sign of rulership for these two planets and the exaltation sign for Venus. By the way, Venus is your finance planet, so that's an excellent omen there for you, being angular in the horoscope. You've also got this movement of Mercury up into the ninth house of your horoscope, moving very close to Uranus up to around the 20th of April, which is exactly the same time that the sun moves into the ninth house as well. And you've got on the 17th the full moon here in your finance sector. So I've jumped to a few things there, but essentially this has to do with your financial circumstances. Mercury is your ruling planet in the zone of luck. You've got that suddenness about that luck associated with Uranus. You've got the full moon there in the finance sector, the second house, and you've got the sun in the eighth house of resources also moving out of this area. Be careful, because the sun rules the 12th house. 12th house is your expenditure. That may have to do with legal or educational costs that you may have overlooked and may also be unexpected around the 17th, 18th, 19th and 20th, just as the sun moves there. Mars has also moved into this seventh house. That can be problematic. Mars is not your friendliest of planets. In fact, it's one of the most difficult in the horoscope of a Virgo. And that brings with it, after the 18th, 19th, some ongoing issues, some differences of opinion that can upset the apple cart here, because we said to you these three bodies are actually very nicely placed in the seventh house of relationships. Having the Mars disrupt that can be an issue. Fortunately, you've got three planets here outweighing that influence. You could be a little bit depressed or down around the 24th, 25th, just as the moon makes its connection with Saturn here in your sixth house. That could be a health issue brought on by some emotional problems. Could it be to do with this Mars-Venus combo here in the seventh house? Maybe. Could have had to do with all of this eighth house stuff that started the month off, which fortunately has shifted. You can see that by the last few days of the month, you've got all of this energy moving up here in the ninth house, education, It's also the place of principles. You may need to reevaluate why it is you believe what you believe. Has it been working for you? You know, philosophy, religion, spiritual beliefs have to have some practical application. You need to translate that into the way you're living and how that's playing out in your worldly life. If it's not working for you, then maybe it's an opportune time for you to reconsider and broaden the scope of your understanding of metaphysics and why we're here, all that sort of stuff. In any sense, that's a karmic zone, and the last day of the month you see Mercury, your ruler, moving to the 10th house, which is also a welcome relief from some of these other aspects we talked of. That's for next month. I'm going to keep you in suspended terror. In the meantime, don't forget to pop over to astrology.com.au, get the rest on what's happening in your month, your year, your destiny at my website. Drop a line if you need me to give you a more personalized touch. More than happy to do that. And don't forget, above all, subscribe. Subscribe, subscribe. And tell your friends. I'll see you next month. Bye-bye.